What is going on, everybody? Welcome to my channel. If you're here, I want to give you my thanks. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So I'm gonna give a quick review of two movies that I've recently seen, and just share my thoughts on them, what I liked about them, what I didn't, and like I always say, I don't like to make the simplistic overly complicated. So we're not gonna overtalk it. We're gonna jump right into it. First movie I saw was Lee Cronin's The Mummy. Um, Now, before I saw it, I had heard a plethora of different um, opinions on it. Many were mixed to negative. Um, I really enjoyed this film. I think it was very, I think it was well made. I think the characters were fairly well fleshed out. I think the story was compelling. Now, that's not to say it was amazing. I do have my issues with it. And my biggest issue with it probably is me personally. I have a rule. It's a rule of thumb, minus some exceptions. I like my movies to be 90 minutes or less. Get me in, entertain me, give me a good product, get me the hell out of there. I don't want to hang around too long. I hate when things linger and just go on for too long. It irritates me. Get me in, get me out, show me a good movie with some good characters. And you can do that in 90 minutes. Easily. Um this movie was over 2 hours long. That's a problem for me. The other issue I had was some of the like so essentially what happens in the film is this reporter's in Egypt, his family, his wife, his son, and his daughter. And his daughter is kidnapped by this woman. We don't know why, but she's able to use magic, and um, we learn that. And one thing I liked about the movie that it did was it showed like this woman had come by several times, giving this little girl, this reporter's daughter, candy over and over again. So she had built up this like level of trust with her. And so I think that was a really good touch. So they kidnap her, they go to the police. The police, there's this kind of, and I saw this when I was in law enforcement. Um, Sometimes you get these old, almost ready to retire um, guys have been on the force for, probably way too long. And they get very, um, they get very hardened by the time. And, the lead inspector on the case with this, at the time, a rookie inspector tells her it's probably them. They probably killed their own daughter or had something to do with it. This is a waste of time. So we fast forward 8 years later. They had another child, another daughter. They're living back in America in New Mexico, I believe it was. And their grandmother, the wife's mom, lives with them. So the grandmother of the children. And get down, Terry. Come on. No, get down. Stop. Stop. Go play. Go ahead. Well, don't look at me like that. Go play. My cat Terry. So yeah. And then they find a box. This like ancient looking box. They open it, and then it's their daughter, 8 years older. They get a call. They come, and she's this is where I can see the this is where I really see the Evil Dead um comparison, because she looks just like a deadite. She moves like a deadite. At first she doesn't talk, but when she does, she talks just like a deadite. Um and then from there it just a lot of disturbing things happen. The dad is working in concert with the now 8-year veteran inspector, who was, like I said, at the time of their daughter's disappearance, just a rookie. So she has some years under her belt. And he's trying to work with her on the case to figure out who did it. And there's this like nice scene in the beginning where the dad's teaching his daughter Morse code. So the daughter, using her teeth like that, does Morse code. And Terry, relax. And she tells her dad the name of the lady that abducted her. So it is a very common name. The inspector even says like, as what is it? I forget the name. I'm terrible with names. But when he tells the inspector the name, she's like, that's a very common name here in Egypt. And he's like, well, that's all I got. And she's like, did anyone try to contact you? Did anyone send you any letters? She's like, go through everything. And he does. And he did. He found a letter from her, the woman who abducted his daughter. And that's when she goes. She finds out. And she finds out, like, essentially the daughter was used as a vessel to hold this demon that has plagued her family. Um, and she said any live person would do, but younger children are best. So they did the ritual to put the demon inside this young girl. And so the ending is just this big fight. By that time, the other daughter, the younger daughter, who I assume is around 8 years old, 7, 8, and the son um, turn like, how deadites do. They kind of infect you. They're infected too. The grandmother who was killed come back to life. The grandmother, if you seen Dragging Me to Hell, looks identical to the old lady in that one that puts the curse on the girl from the bank. Um, but may have been the same. I don't think it was the same lady. Was it? Now I gotta look that up. Anyway, we'll do that later. The ending's fucking awesome. And then the very ending is a nice. I like when a movie shows someone getting a due. So, and I won't spoil it, but someone really gets to do in the very end. And I thought it was a nice little touch. Like I said, I think it was a little bit too long. There are some things in there that I think were done unnecessarily. Um, but overall, um, if I had to rate it out of 10, I'll get like a solid 7. 7 out of 10. It was good. It was beautiful. The story, I think they really fleshed out the characters well. Like I said, maybe one a little bit too long. Definitely one too long. But overall, 7 out of 10. Very much enjoyed this movie. Here it is, the Juggernaut. Obsession. This movie came with it would be an understatement to say it came with lofty expectations. The word of mouth the phenomenon that it turned into. Um, the actress, I can't pronounce her name, remember her name off the top of my head. When it plays Nikki, she's already being considered for roles in Marvel. People are saying, lobbying for her to be the next Harley Quinn, I read somewhere. So she's already off this one film alone being offered a great many, high profile roles. So her career is on the up and up significantly. The director being offered several movies. Um, this film, 10 years from now, 15 years, 20 years from now, it's going to be the film that we look back and say it launched the career of these people. They're going to be household names. And we're going to say, yeah, that the director and the actress of Obsession, they that's where they started, and look at them now. So, but about the movie itself, I think it was. I don't want to misspeak, but I do believe it may have been Dread Central, or I read an article, and if it wasn't, forgive me. But it was it was either Dread Central, Bloody Disgusting, or was it I Horror? Maybe. I don't think it was Fangoria. I would say either Bloody Disgusting, Dread Central, or I Horror. One of them had this piece, some wrote about obsession. And they wrote the true horror of obsession was Nikki lost her autonomy. She lost the ability to make up her own mind, to control, to give an honest yes no answer. She lost who she was when Bear made that wish. This is before I saw the movie. I read this. And now I haven't seen the movie. I can say, yes, the most horrifying thing about this film. And people say Nikki's the bad guy, the bad the bad person, the evil one. The evil one is Bear. There's a scene in the very beginning. Actually, this is right when it happens, when before he makes a wish. He takes her home, takes Nikki home. Um, she go to leave, and then she turns around and says, "Hey, do you like me? If you like me, if you think we can be something more, tell me now. Tell me now. Like not tomorrow. Don't call me a week from now. Tell me now." And he's like, "Oh, well, I like you as a friend." And she's like, "Okay, that's all I need to know." And then he says, "Shit." And then he makes a wish. What a fucking coward. What a fucking coward. And then there's two scenes that I think were particularly haunting. The first scene I found very haunting was, or one of them was back at the box, the wish box. He turns around as like a phone number, so he calls the phone number. And spoilers ahead. Obviously, why would you watch the review and not expect spoilers? But suffice it to say, obviously spoilers. But he turns around and He calls the number. And they're like, hey, how can we help you? And he's like, hey, can I alter a wish? And they're like, no, we don't do that. Like, you can't alter one. And he's like, oh. He's like, is that working out for you? He's like, no, I just want to, I don't want to change it. I don't want to take it back. I just want to alter it. And they're like, yeah, we don't do that. You can't alter a wish. He's like, okay. Well, can I take the wish back? He's like, yeah, we don't do that either. He's like, well, can you help me with? He's like, really nothing. He's like, well, I need help. And the guy says, do you want to talk to Nikki? And Bear's like, what'd you say? Like, what? And he's like, do you want to talk to Nikki? And on the phone, you hear her screaming in agony. You hear her yelling and screaming. And, yeah, I thought it was a haunting scene. Other scene that I found haunting was when he would go see Sarah. And this is towards the end of the film. And Nikki wakes up and he's like, oh, yeah, don't worry. I'm just going to go get something to drink. She's like, shut up. She's like, stop talking. You're going to wake her up. He's like, what? She's like, you're going to wake her up. Please kill me. I can't do this anymore. Please just end it for me. And he looks at her and he's like, well, what's so bad about being with me? She doesn't have a fucking choice, bro. You took away her ability to choose. And then of course she kills Sarah, which I saw that coming. I already knew Sarah's dead. And then he kills himself, and right before she's about to do it to herself, she snaps out of it and just starts screaming and wailing and just scream, what have you done? And the craziest thing about the movie is he realizes he lusted over Nikki. She was beautiful, had nice tits, was pretty. But it was Sarah who had a real connection with. Him and Sarah really had a connection. And he wished for Nikki because he lusted over her, because he wanted her physically. Where with Sarah, it was easy to tell. They had a better connection. So, to me, and I agree with this article, wherever I read it at, the villain in this film was Bear. He's the one who took the ability to choose, the autonomy, the choice away from Nikki, made her essentially just his sex slave. I mean, you've even seen when he's that they're having sex, and there's no like, she's not enjoying it, and he's just going to town, and she's just laying there just like that, and it's like there's no passion, there's no love there, because you're basically, basically raping her, because she had no ability to give consent. And I think this film is very, very relevant. I think this film is very indicative. People say, "Oh, it's about the dating scene," but I don't see it that way. I see it as a testament to women's rights, women's ability to choose, women's ability to not be harassed or taken advantage of. Because several times in the film, several times, people tell him, you're taking advantage of her. Or I feel like you might be taking advantage of her. And he automatically gets defensive. And no, I'm not. No. Instead of saying, maybe I am. Maybe you're. He gets defensive and he dismisses it. It's like, bro, yes, you are. You are clearly taking advantage of her. They just don't know to what extent because they don't know that you made this, you know, wish that she would love you more than anyone else in the world. But no, I feel this is a movie about what can happen when women don't have the ability to choose and choose for themselves and speak for themselves. But it was, it was so well acted. It was so well shot, and unlike the Mummy, was, again, mixed to bad reviews is all I heard. Obsession came with just the biggest shoes to fill, and it filled it. It filled it and then some. This movie was amazing. Its messaging was amazing. The way it went about it was amazing. Just, I mean, all the things that it presented and made you think about, made you ponder. Like I said, so many times someone told Bear, bro, you're taking, I think you're taking advantage of her. And he would be so dismissive and so ready to say, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's not happening. How the fuck can you even say that? You're absolutely taking advantage of this girl. It's not like you even liked her because of who she was. You liked her because she had a past where she had several sexual partners, because she had, a very poor relationship with her dad. And even in, because at one point he calls her Nikki, and his friend told him to say that as like a joke, but she gets kind of defensive, like, I don't like that name. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just joking. Fucking coward. And later on, she's looking at him, and whatever that spirit or jinn or whatever possessed her, she looks at him and goes, I'm your freaky Nikki. And you can tell, like, that's just like, and another scene I really liked, after she kills Sarah, she just takes the back of her head and just smashes her head against the steering wheel. And she's like, I'm sorry. And Nikki's telling Bear, I'm sorry, but you asked for this. This is your wish. You did this. It just, this was an amazing film. And so well done, so well made, so well acted. And yeah, this was a 10 out of 10 for me. I
Time for bed.
Yeah, this was excellent. This was excellent. So um it lived up to everything people said it was, and then some. And it was fucked up. Sarah was trying to get like to school, whatever. She kept getting denied and denied and denied, and so she got denied, and Bear asked her, like, is that the last school? She's like, no, there's one more. And she called him over because she's like, I got the letter. This is the last school. If they say no, this is it for me. My dream is dead. He's like, well, and right before they open it, that's when Nikki kills her. But after she dies, Bear looks, opens it, looks at it, and sees that it says, congratulations, you got in. I mean, listen, when I say this movie is just amazing, also shows like how weak men can cause a lot of problems for everyone else, right? Men who are weak, men who are cowards. We even see that in our own political, right? I won't get too deep into politics, but Oh, fuck it. You see, Lindsey Graham died. And there's a quote, I believe, by Oscar Wilde. I might be incorrect, so forgive me. I don't like to misquote people. That's one thing I don't like to say. Someone says something and they didn't. But I do believe he said it, and if not, nonetheless, there's a quote that I read somewhere that says, "Some men only make the world a better place by leaving it." And Lindsey Graham fits that profile. The world's a better, brighter place without him in it. Because he was a weak man, a coward. And Bear in this film was a weak man and a coward. Because who knows? If he had just simply told Nikki, if he had the nuts to tell her, yeah, I like you. I think you're beautiful. And maybe she would have gave him a chance. Maybe they went on a date. Maybe they would have fell in love. Had a kid or two. Instead, he takes away her ability to choose. And of course, everything that happens. But what a great movie, and what a great just performances and directing. Everything was top notch. This was a phenomenal film. I mean, sometimes you see a film that doesn't quite live up to the hype, and you're like, it was all right. But this film was amazing. So I'm glad I got a chance to watch those two movies. They were definitely both of them were good. Obsession, I would say, is a modern modern classic. Or The Mummy, I think I can see it becoming a cult classic, kind of like Dead Silence, kind of like uh, maybe like Night of the Comet, where eventually it becomes a cult classic. Goodness gracious, amongst the horror community. But we'll see what happens. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I'll leave it here everyone else's opinion if they liked it, they didn't like it, what they thought about these two films. I think Obsession is pretty universally loved, but The Mummy, yes, I heard mixed things. I wonder if everyone else enjoyed it like I did, despite the flaws it has, or they hated it. But either way, thank you guys till next time. Be safe.